We've got just 3 weekends of racing left here in Hong Kong before the end of the season. This is what we've got coming up for you on HK Direct today. And it was a significant moment for Chad Schofield last week at Sha Tin, notching up his 100th winner in Hong Kong. He joins us in the studio to tell us more. Plus, we reveal the winner of this month's Masterclass. That's what's to come on today's show. As mentioned, Chad Schofield is our special guest in the studio. Chad, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on making it to the 100 Club.
Yeah, thanks, Ed. It was a good day for me. A double and to reach the century was a good feeling.
Going into that meeting, were you aware that you're on 99 winners here in Hong Kong?
I was, to be honest, yes. And it came on a horse who was a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting that horse to crack it for me, but very happy when he did. Yeah,
Chaparral Star was the horse. $88. What were the confidence levels like going into that race?
Well, I'd never ridden the horse before, but obviously he was a horse who's bred to get over a trip by High Chaparral, and he'd only ever had the one previous run in Class 5, which was not too bad. So stepping up to 14 I thought would help, and although his form wasn't good, I thought there was something there that could help him improve.
Coming to the end of your 3rd season here in Hong Kong to ride 100 winners, what does that mean to you?
Like I said, it was a great feeling. I've been here 3 full seasons now. I've worked hard, and every season I've been here, I've picked up the bar slowly and steadily, and I'm finally starting to get good support now from good trainers and good owners, and it's flowing along nicely for me. Okay,
so that's one milestone. We know that your father, Glenn, rode here for about 4 years. Let's have a look at the record between the two Schofields. You're on 101, Glenn's on 152. Is that the next target, to exceed your father?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be. I know how well Dad did here for a number of seasons, so when I draw level and eventually go past him, I'll give him a phone call and rub it in, that's for sure.
Interesting to know you've both got a very similar strike rate. You're marginally ahead.
Yeah, it's good to see.
7.9 to 7.8. Let's go back to the start of your time in Hong Kong. You'd won big races in Australia, champion apprentice in both Melbourne and Sydney, won the Cox Plate on Seamus Award. You had 3 months in the UK prior to coming here. When you came, did you look at this as a long-term opportunity or more just to get some more international experience?
I always looked at Hong Kong as a long-term goal for me. It's a place I'd always wanted to ride, and when I first got the offer to come, many people thought I was probably a bit too young and not quite ready. And initially I came on a 3-month contract, and luckily enough for me, I did well in those 3 months and was extended to the end of the season, and I've stayed ever since. Very lucky to be here. I'm loving every minute of it, and let's hope I can stay.
This season, you're in the top 5 for the Jockeys Premiership, 38 wins. Have things got better and better as time has gone on for you here?
Yes, they have. In my first season, I rode 32 winners off the top of my head, and in my 2nd season, I went a little bit better than that, and now my 3rd season, it's just kept building for me, and let's hope that can continue all the way through.
And with your record here, one thing that probably hasn't helped you, you have spent a bit of time in the steward's room. Is that something you've worked on to try to spend as less time as possible in there?
Yes, of course. Something I need to continue to work on too, but something I'll take into next season and try and improve, and see how we go.
We'll talk about next season later on, but just going back to last Sunday, I know we had 2 group races on the day, but arguably this was the best race, a hot Class 2 race, several up-and-coming types in it. You're on Win Beauty Win, who won the race. Just take us through it. What sort of feel did he give you?
He gave me a tremendous feel. His 2 trials leading into this were super on the dirt, and I had so much horse at this point of the race. I just needed half a run. Fortunately for me, it came, and when I pushed the button, he showed a terrific turn of acceleration and put the race away very quickly. He's a very exciting young horse.
You're 2 from 2 on him. He won the Griffin Trophy race, a feature race for younger horses here in Hong Kong earlier on in the season. How high do you think he could get?
Well, look, this day he had the perfect run, and he had a light weight in his back, so it's easy to get carried away, but he is a horse who I think can go very, very high in Hong Kong. He's still only 3. I think he's going to improve even more. He's a 100 rated horse at least every day of the week.
Okay, so that was last Sunday. Let's look ahead to this Sunday in Chad's Book of Rides for the 10 races at Sha Tin on Reunification Day, Absolute Cool, Dashing Dart, Raging Storm, Packing Miracle and Zilong. Chad's also picked up the ride on Some Street Somewhere in the last. Raging Storm though, let's talk about him. He's your third ride for John Size for the season. How did the ride come up for you?
I just got a message off Mr. Size offering me the ride, and of course very happy when I saw that message and confirmed it straight away. He's a very exciting young horse, and he's done little wrong in Hong Kong so far. He's won 3 from 5, and he's been impressive. He's now up into Class 2, and it's obviously a stronger company than he's met before, but he's been impressive, and let's hope he can take the step.
Up to Class 2, that looks like a strong race, but do you feel that he's up to that level?
Well, obviously I haven't ridden the horse before, but it looks like he can handle it. His wins in Class 3 with top weight last start was very impressive, and he's going to drop down to the bottom of Class 2, and let's hope he can get the job done again.
You mentioned before too, it's just your third ride coming up for John Size this season. Is he someone that you'd like to be riding more for though?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure every jockey in Hong Kong is in the same boat as me and wishing they can ride for Mr. Size, but luckily I got an opportunity on the weekend, and let's hope I can make him count.
So you haven't ridden him before, but obviously looking forward to riding him. One horse you've had a bit to do with it from the Paul O'Sullivan stable is Zilong. You've ridden him at his last few starts. Here he is on the all-weather track. Just looking at the replay, from my eye, didn't look like he had the clearest of runs in the straight here.
I didn't know. He's a horse who came from Australia and New Zealand. He obviously won the Rough Habit Plate, the lead up into the Queensland Derby, before finishing midfield in the Queensland Derby. And he just took a few runs in Hong Kong to acclimatise and find his feet. A couple of times we rode him up on the pace where it capitulated. So this night, we rode him a bit quieter, and he seemed to find the line a lot better. So hopefully he's starting to find his feet here in Hong Kong, and the petty's starting to drop.
You rode him in a trial. Does he feel like since this race, has he improved since then?
Yes, I do. He seems to respond well to the dirt, and he's quite effective on it. So if there's a bit of speed up front, he can hit the line strong.
Of the 6 rides that you've got then for Sunday, who are you most confident about going into the meeting?
I think Zilong will run well. Obviously, Raging Storm, he's a bit of a young hype horse, and he's going to be exciting to see how he goes in Class 2. And another young horse, Absolute Cool, he looks quite promising as well.
Next season, big things to change here in Hong Kong as far as the jockeys room is concerned. No Joe Moreira, no Tommy Berry, Brett Preble, Olivier Deleuze, some of our more experienced riders are finishing up. In comes Grant Van Niekerk, Callan Murray. How does all of that affect you?
It's hard to say, really. Obviously, the main point there is Joe Moreira leaving, and for me, I don't know what opportunities will come off that. Obviously, my 2 main supporters are Tony Millard and Richard Gibson, so let's hope that can continue into next season. And me being able to ride the lighter weights, hopefully that can help. And obviously, the 2 new jockeys, Callan Murray and Van Niekerk, can ride light too. It's just hard to tell at this stage, but anyway, we'll keep working hard and see what happens.
Has there been much talk about that amongst the jockeys, how things are going to change, and is there something you've got to keep on top of, trying to find new opportunities? Yeah,
of course. We're all sort of putting the feelers out for next season already, and but no one really knows how it's going to turn out just yet.
And you mentioned your weight before. You can ride light, even though you're fairly tall as far as jockeys are concerned. What do you have to do on a day-to-day basis to be able to ride light here in Hong Kong?
I do a lot of exercise, of course. I think we all do. I like to run a lot, so a couple of days out I'll go for a run, and then the morning of I'll go for another jog. And fortunate for me, yes, I am tall, but pretty light, so let's hope that can stay.
Can you let yourself go over the off-season? Got a break coming up. Can you enjoy yourself and let your body enjoy things that it couldn't when you're under the jockey diet?
Even when I'm riding here, I don't really have a diet, so to speak. I might cut down the day before the race, but I'm not too much on a diet, so yeah, in the off-season I'll enjoy and probably keep on top of the weight too with a bit of exercise.
And this season you've ridden a lot of nice horses, some proven horses at the top level like Singapore Sling, who you won the Classic Cup on, NASA, you won the Ladies' Purse on him, and some up-and-comers, Refined Treasure, Shimmer and Shine, just to name a couple. When you look ahead to next season, who are the horses that you're excited to be jumping back on board?
I think Refined Treasure. He's very, very exciting sprinter. He's done it all on raw ability so far, and I think next season he can furnish into a proper horse. Interesting to see if NASA can come back from his injury, because he wasn't too far off Werther and Time Warp in his lead-up run before he went amiss. So if he can recover well from that, he could be, one of the big players.
All right, well, Chad, we appreciate you coming into the studio to take the time to talk to us. Well done on your 101st winner, as it turned out to be last Sunday. Best of luck for the rest of the season and enjoy the off-season.
Great, thank you, Ed.
Chad Schofield, our special guest here in the studio. If you want to follow how Chad gets on this Sunday at Shard Tin, the HK Reunification Cup is our feature race where Chad will be on board Raging Storm. That's race 7. We've also got the Guangdong Hong Kong Cup as race 8. And as always, for more information, you can go to the website hkjc.com or also to Twitter. So we're going to leave you on this edition of HK Direct with June's Masterclass. And while he didn't win, Werther flew the flag proudly for Hong Kong in Japan last week. It's been a season where all hasn't gone to plan for him, but he ran a brave second last week in the Takaraza Kikinen.
5 Group 1 winners in the event. Great to see Werther from Hong Kong. John Moore has brought the horse across, and Hugh Bowman has the ride. Former Horse of the Year in Hong Kong. Good support for Kiseki. Tono Crown won this race last year. Also has support. Vivlos, probably the best back runner in the last 10 minutes or so. 2 mares in the race, Vivlos and Smart Leia, but Vivlos does have good support. Stand by, they're set, they're ready, and they're off. Sotono Diamond looks to go up towards Mickey Rocket. They've got 350 metres to run. Still Mickey Rocket kicking along the fence. Here comes Werther. Werther down the middle. And the cheek piece is going to do the trick, but kicking up Mickey Rocket the rail. Werther issuing out the challenge. Mickey Rocket. Werther is striding up to it. Mickey Rocket. Werther. Mickey Rocket. They hit it. Mickey Rocket wins from Werther.